Oasis, we can tell you, are back in business. Isabel will tell you where.
I think there's a bit of a champagne supernova going on this morning. They have announced their reunion tour 15 years after their split this morning, and they say the guns have fallen silent, the stars have aligned, the great wait is over, come see, it will not be televised. They've announced dates in Cardiff, Manchester, London, Edinburgh and Dublin, and they say it will be their only shows in Europe next year. They start in July in Cardiff and they end... there's a bunch in Wembley in the middle, and they end in Dublin on the 17th of August. So too much anticipation. All those rumours proved to be true. The boys have buried the hatchet and are going back out on the road.
It's amazing what 400 million could do, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Let's go to Mick Wall. Mick's a music journalist with his view and his thoughts on all of this. Mick, good morning to you.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Are you excited?
I think that might be overstating it. It's kind of like the worst kept secret in the world, isn't it? To be honest with you, they've been talking about this. I first heard about this 5 years ago, when at that point their two most famous albums were coming up to their 25th or were on their 25th anniversary, the first one. And then, of course, COVID hit. And the world changed and everything went away, and now it's coming back. So I've been talking about them getting back at some point as a sort of inevitability for a long, long time. So excitement, no, but yes, great to see them back. I mean, they're one of the all-time brilliant British rock and roll bands. And just like the Rolling Stones, or The Who, or all these huge monster bands, there is just a whole generation of people that never saw them, weren't there first time around to buy all those great hit records, but they've grown up reading about them, seeing the DVDs, looking at the stuff online, and they're just going to be so excited to go and see them. And we live in the era of classic lineups getting back together. And it doesn't matter that it's, as long as you've got Liam and Noel, you've got Oasis. None of the other original members are involved. But then, you know, in the Rolling Stones, there's only Mick Jagger and Keith Richards from the original lineup. Same with The Who. It's only Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend. The Sex Pistols have just been doing fantastic business here, and they don't even have Johnny Rotten singing for them anymore. So it's Liam and Noel. It always was the Liam and Noel show, and it will be something to see. I'm absolutely sure, yeah.
I never knew that Oasis was anything more than Noel and Liam.
No, I didn't. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's really mainly Liam, but with a little bit of Noel in the background. But can Liam keep his mouth shut? The world's moved on from the 1990s, where he was, you know, effing and blinding and flicking the V sign at the cameras. The youngsters won't stand for any of that these days.
Oh, I don't know. I think the youngsters will always love a bit of flicking V signs and swearing and bad behaviour. No, I think I very much hope he does do all that, because it'd be disappointing if he came out like Elton John, you know, and sort of loving everybody and wishing everybody a fond farewell at the end of the show. No, I want them to be as bad as possible. You know, we don't want Oasis to come out and be nice and safe and all that boring stuff. They were never that. That was Blur. You know, Oasis are the other end of the spectrum. So we want them to come out and we want them to be rock and roll stars, which is what the whole trip was always about for them. And the brothers just bring that element of unpredictability, which you do not get with the Stones or the Who or any of the other big boys that get back together.
And just how good do you think they were? You know, the number of times I've been at events where someone's just started singing Wonderwall, for example, and the crowd just suddenly starts singing it. I mean, do you rate them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it so happened they came along at a time in Britain where the Labour government was about to come in and we had this whole Cool Britannia thing. But the fact is, they would have made it at any era in music from the 60s to today. You know, cream always rises to the top, and the ace they always had in their sleeve was the brothers. Noel wrote absolutely terrific songs, especially on those first two albums. And Liam was the best frontman this country had seen probably since Johnny Rotten. Absolutely dynamite. I saw them live a few times. I also was there at Top of the Pops when they did Roll With It. There was no division between the people you saw on stage and the ones that you saw off stage. They were exactly who they were. They were entirely authentic. And of course, that meant trouble sometimes. And like I say, it's so rare in the music business, particularly these days where everything is formatted, streamed, everything down to the last second is on tech now. They all perform to hard drive, as we say. I think these guys will come along and burst that bubble in their own unique way, and God bless them for it.
Thanks, Mick. Really appreciate your take on things. Music journalist Mick Wall there. Thank you very much. And just to recap on what we've just heard, Oasis have announced a run of 14 shows in Britain and Ireland. That's going to be next summer. It'll be July and August in Cardiff, Manchester, London, Edinburgh, finishing up in Dublin.
Yeah.
And those will be their only shows in Europe next year.
Yeah, they're saying tickets go on sale this Saturday at 8 a.m. in Ireland, 9 a.m. in the UK, and they include 2 nights in Cardiff, 4 nights in Heaton Park in Manchester, 4 at Wembley in London, 2 nights in Edinburgh, and then 2 nights in Dublin. No mention, it's worth saying, of Glastonbury. We all got a little bit ahead of ourselves there. There was lots of speculation about what they were going to be announcing, but not headlining the Pyramid stage just yet, but never say never. Although, actually, this tour comes just after Glastonbury, doesn't it? So it would be a bit of a sort of rain on their parade if they did Glasgow before this. So it doesn't look like Glastonbury 25 anyway. Never know, maybe 26 if the tour goes well. But I for one, am pleased to see them back. I think it'll be great.
I would say Glastonbury's more where you end up as opposed to where they're going to start afresh from again.